Hi guys, this is Daryl Addison at Torpedopot.com. Daryl Addison at Torpedopot.com. And you're looking at our self-growing planters. I put these seeds in about a month and a week, or a month or 2 weeks ago. And they've been growing by themselves in this planter without my assistance. Our self-growing planters will grow more food for you at your location than probably anything else in the world. This grows faster than hydroponics, grows faster than aquaponics, or any traditional gardening you're doing in the ground. Torpedopot exceeds all of the growing phenomena. I'm going to dismount the camera because I want to let you see we're growing pinto beans at the bottom of these planters. And with the knobs, we're able to control the water supply. These pinto beans came out of a pack that we just brought from the store. We wanted to test them out. Many different people who process pinto beans, they irradiate them, and so it stops them from germinating. But we've been able to get them to grow. We littered them throughout the planter. We just dropped them in, and I would say in each planter, there's maybe about 200 plants. And this one's pinto at the bottom, and these are bush beans at the top. And this is pinto throughout. Then we have more pinto beans, and then we have collards. More pinto beans, and then we have the red cabbage. I'm going to dismount the camera because I want you to take a look specifically the pinto bean planter. They have all of them been doing fantastic, but I'm interested more in the pinto bean crop because we believe that we have the ability to outdo farming in the ground, hands down. We have about 200 plants inside of this planter. If each one of them are able to do 20 beans, which we're looking forward to have done, that's going to be a lot of, 20 pods. That's going to be an awful lot of pods. And we're pushing it to have it do it to show planters that they can do it. Our torpedo pots right here are going up about 7 feet. We have planters that go up as high as 100 feet, 30 feet, 100 feet. So we can actually push the limit on these plants. As you can see, this planter right here has been watering, and all of them receive their due process of water based upon the knobs and the timer that I have in the front end. So they all get watered in the time that time setting I've set for them. I just turned up the water on these. I let it water for, now we're using an internal plumbing system throughout these planters. So you're not pouring water out of the hose onto the ground. You're not pouring tons of water out. The uses of these pots are so low, it would probably shock you. From the look of it right now, you might be getting between 200 planters and that one right here, you might probably be using close to a gallon of water a day, if that. So you're not using a lot of water for any of these planters. When it gets really hot, you use about a gallon of water. With that being said, we're going to dismount it and let you take a look at the plants that are in the torpedo pot. And I want you to help me estimate what the torpedo pot's potential is. Thank you guys. Just did it right now. Okay, so while all of these look just absolutely fantastic, and let's take a look at them right now. This is the bush beans at the top. They haven't really started to seed yet. Go to flower yet, but they are certainly trying their best, and they're definitely going to get there. As you can see, they're on their merry way. Definitely on their merry way. But we've seen that that isn't. You can see that the pintos are just taking off. They're just doing fantastic. And you gotta love it. You gotta really love it. And of course, this is all pinto. We're gonna revisit this. We'll come back and look at this again. And this is the pinto at the bottom, and this is the collards at the top. I was going to thin out the collards, but I decided to just wait and see what happens. So I'm not going to thin them out yet. I want to see, because we're hitting this year, 2019, we haven't used any fertilizer. But towards this end of this year, September, we decided to hit these with the, and I want you to understand how much fertilizer we're using here. We have over, I would say, 200 plants in each planter. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 plants. Plus we have a second planter here on the side. which are running about 1,000 plants, and we only use a teaspoon of fertilizer a week. Now, the reason why we use a teaspoon of fertilizer is because we really don't need it. Okay, because when the plants are being fed, they're all getting an equal dose of fertilizer, and the fertilizer is not running out, as you see what little bit of water we do on the ground here. We have very little runoff, so very little, and that fertilizer goes back into the air to poison our atmosphere. No, very little goes into our water stream to poison that. Okay, most of it's trapped in the intermolecular structure and the soil matrix, and then it rests itself there to be used over a long period of time. We believe in a microbial process for the planters, so even though we have developed a pot to allow fungus to grow that will feed your plants automatically. We realize that some plants go through different periods of growth, and we want to accelerate that growth, so we hit them with fertilizers. We've been consistently doing a teaspoon of fertilizer now for the past, I would say, about 4 weeks, and they've been doing just fine. They've been taking off. And of course, this is the red cabbage, and that's been taken off too. Now, this is supposed to go to like a head, so obviously, clearly, we're going to have to cut this thing back, but we'll do it in this due season. Right now, we just want farmers to see what the potential possibilities are. Those who are doing greens and want to go up 100 feet to do their vegetables. And we'll have a blade to come down and just saw everything off, so you'll be able to have it. So Torpedopot is on the move, and we're praying and hoping that you'll be on the move with us. All right, so let's take a look at this, what we're looking at right now, and that is this plant. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it absolutely beautiful? Pinto all the way through. So it's really starting to take off. Okay, as you can see, I don't know if you can see clearly here, but you see those pods coming. And I'm telling you, I'm loving to see those pods coming. They are so gorgeous. They are so gorgeous. So let's count these pods and see what the potential pods are. Well, let's count the flowers. Because you can see in, like, for instance, this perch hole, we have 2 plants, okay? So let's count something with pods on it, like this right here. Okay, let's try this right here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my camera right, so bear with me if you're not able to see. So the potential pods on this right now are, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do it again now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it has a 13, 14. So it's a potential of 14 pods on it right now. Okay. So one plant has 14 pods on it, and there's 200 plants in this planter. So 2 tens is 2,000, 2 fours is 8. You're looking about what, 2,800? Did I count that right? Let me make sure I got that right now. 14 pods, and you have 200 plants, correct? Because that is a lot of pods. I want you to really let that sink in. 200 plants, 14 pods. 2,800 pods we're going to get from this particular planter. And this is just growing a planter that's is growing at about 7 feet. So when we go up 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, you can imagine what's going to happen. Torpedopot technology is no joke. Our patented technology will grow more plants per unit area than anything you've ever seen before. And you can eat healthier, organically. You can eat with fertilizer. Whatever you choose to do to meet your needs, Torpedopot is there to help you achieve it. This is Darryl Addison at Torpedopot.com. Darryl Addison at Torpedopot.com, where we make self-growing planters, okay? They grow your food for you. You do not have to grow your food anymore. All you do is put your seeds in the Torpedopot, and you walk away for the rest of the year. Now, as you can see, you don't have the wasted water as you would do when you're spraying water in the ground. You don't have to waste the water when it comes to drip irrigation when you have evaporation, okay? You're looking at about a 98% efficient planter that will grow your food and eliminates all of the waste that we normally encounter. These planters have been growing in the same, we have not removed any soil from this planter. So you're looking at soil that has been growing through at least 5 different growing seasons. And what makes this so good with the beans in there, because they do nitrogen fixation, we'll use this crop, when we produce this crop right here, we utilize the nitrogen that the beans have created, and we'll put more plants in it after this. We expect to go into the winter, so we're probably, once these start to produce, we'll probably replace them with something that will go into the winter, like a cabbage or maybe more collards or some of that nature, that will go through the winter time. But this is a great short crop that allow us to build our soil type up at the same time to prepare us for the next crops that will go inside of the planter. During the winter time, it's very interesting. We have our planters. The planters that you see right now are plugged into the house. They're plumbed into this particular location. So we have little receptacles that you plug your planter in, and they get fed from a control switch inside the main location. And that's what it is. During the winter time, what we normally do is that we run the water lines underneath the ground so they won't freeze. And so your planters can go into the winter. Don't let these planters fool you. They'll last you about a good, I'm estimating about from 5 to 20 years. The only thing that we have that we're replacing the planter is a saturation hose, which waters all of the plants in the planter. But the planter's construction should last you a long time. Remember now, when I took these beans and put them in the ground about a year ago, we did a huge garden outside. And I put the beans in, and guess what? The mice came and they ate up everything. The rodents came and they ate up everything. If you look at this planter now, with these pinto beans and other crops inside of there, you see very little, if nothing, eating them up. You see very little, if nothing, decay. You don't see any fungus. You don't see any rodents biting into it. As a matter of fact, you see very few insects that are eating up these plants. There's a reason why. One of the reasons why is that we raised the planter off the ground. So the rodents can't readily get to it when they want to. They're not going to climb. Most rodents are not going to climb. And not only that, but when you're giving your plant the water that it needs, you start to realize that insects attack it less. Insects, not all insects, but most insects attack plants as they're on their way out. So if they're showing a sign of decay, then they'll come in and they'll just gobble that thing right on up. But for some plants, most plants have a defense mechanism built into the chemistry of the plant itself, which prevents insects from coming and destroying it. We had plants that were destroyed. We planted kale and broccoli and cabbage, and we had little insects come, and they would literally destroy the crop. And we allowed it because we wanted to see what would happen. But we're not worried about it because Torpedopot is designed to grow your plants. So all of our plants, they grew back. Because the Torpedopot, nothing dies in the Torpedopot. You don't have to worry about death in a Torpedopot, okay? Everything's being equally fed. Everything's being equally cared for. You're not putting it into the soil where you're running water off. You don't have to put leaves on for compost. All of that's taking place in the Torpedopot. All of it's taking place in the Torpedopot. Decomposition is taking place. Everything is healthy and green. The Torpedopot is in the business. We're in the business of growing your food. I want to thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and just ask me. But we're going to thin these out, and we're hoping for great things and our ability to feed the needs of people around the world. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.